In this video, I'm going to show you how to solve the ALEKS problem called Deriving Kb from Ka. The relationship between Kb and Ka is this: Ka times Kb equals Kw, and Kw is a constant, 1 times 10 to the minus 14. So if you know Kb, you can calculate Ka and vice versa. There are 3 different sets of data or pieces of information in this problem. We're going to start with row number 1, molecule number 1. In this row, we are being given a Kb value, and we are asked to come up with the corresponding value of Ka. So if we look at this relationship between Ka and Kb and Kw, if we're trying to solve for Ka, that means we want to divide both sides by Kb. The Kb's will cancel out on the left side, and the equation that we get is Ka equals Kw over Kb. We plug in our value of Kw, 1 times 10 to the minus 14, and we plug in the provided value of Kb, 1.1 times 10 to the minus 8, and we work the math out on that. 1 times 10 to the minus 14 divided by 1.1 times 10 to the minus 8. It gives us, to 2 significant figures, 9.1 times 10 to the minus 7. The third set of data, third piece of information down here is a really similar problem. Again, we have a Kb and we're being asked to calculate a Ka, so we're going to do the exact same thing. Again, we're going to use Kw, 1 times 10 to the minus 14, and divide that by the provided Kb, 3.3 times 10 to the minus 7. The biggest mistake that I see students making here, in fact, actually the only mistake that I really see students making here, is just flip-flopping those numbers, doing Kb divided by Kw, for example. So just make sure that you're getting the problem set up correctly. 3 times 10 to the minus 8. For the second piece of information here, the second row, this problem is basically the opposite. We've been given the Ka value and we're being asked to calculate Kb. If we're trying to calculate Kb, we want to divide both sides by Ka. So Kb equals Kw divided by Ka. Then for our third set of information here, Kw, which is always 1 times 10 to the minus 14, our Ka is 1.8 times 10 to the minus 5. Now you might be noticing that there is some more information. My calculator is having an issue with this. 5.6 times 10 to the minus 10. So you might notice that there are a few more boxes in this problem that we need to fill in, and this is filling in the formulas of the conjugate acid or the conjugate base for each one of these molecules. So in the first set of data here, we're being given the formula of what the problem tells us is a base, and we're being asked to write the formula of its conjugate acid. In the second piece of information here, we're being given the formula of what is an acid, and we're being asked to write the formula of its base. So to come up with these formulas, you just have to remember that if a molecule is an acid, that means that it is an H plus donor. So that means that the acids are going to be losing H plus to form their base. Lose H plus to form the base. And we'll just do that one first. So we're going to take this molecule here. We're going to get rid of one of its hydrogens. I'm just going to get rid of the one in front, CH3CO2, and then also get rid of a positive charge. So the charge is going to go down to a -1. Now for bases, our base is an H plus acceptor. For our bases, we are going to gain an H plus to form the acid. So if we are starting with the formula of a base, we just want to add an H plus to come up with the formula of an acid. Typically, the hydrogen is written at the very front of the formula. So I'm going to write the hydrogen first, HClO, and then also don't forget we're adding a positive charge. We are starting with the negative charge, add a positive charge. That leaves us with a neutral molecule. This guy right here, for this one, we want to add a hydrogen and add a positive charge. Where should we put that hydrogen? When we've got nitrogens in the molecule, typically ALEKS likes us to group the extra hydrogen onto the nitrogen. And so ALEKS normally wants us to throw that third hydrogen. It's going to want us to put it right there. But ALEKS is pretty picky about this stuff. Also, don't forget to raise the charge. We're increasing the charge from 0 up to a +1.